Dear students, during this session, we are going to discuss on superposition principle based problems. Let us try to solve the first problem. And what is the first problem? I have three charges, Q1, Q2, Q3. These charges are placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle. First condition. Second is, all the three charges Q1, Q2, Q3 are equal in magnitude. And the third point that must be noticed in this problem is, a charge capital Q of same sign is placed at the centroid of the equilateral triangle. Let us see the figure. I said I have an equilateral triangle. Let me say this is vertex A, this is B, and this is C. Charge Q1 is placed at this vertex, Q2 is placed at this vertex, and Q3 here. The condition says that the magnitude of the charges placed at all these vertices are equal in magnitude. So it's Q. And at the centroid, you know what is centroid? This point is centroid, and here we place a charge capital Q which is of same sign as that of these charges. Now the question is, what will be the total force experienced by the charge capital Q placed at centroid due to all these charges Q, this Q, and this Q? This is the problem. Let us assume the point or the centroid as O at which charge Q is placed. Now, let us apply the superposition principle. We have studied. Superposition principle says that the total force experienced by any point charge due to other charges are always equal to the vector sum of the forces due to individual charges exerted on the charge capital Q. If that is the case, then we see that the net force on charge capital Q will be equal to the force experienced by the charge placed at O due to the charge at A plus the force experienced by charge placed at O due to the charge at B and the force experienced by the charge placed at O due to the charge at C. This vector sum will give me the net force experienced by the charge capital Q. Now, I am going to apply the superposition principle. And to apply the superposition principle, see please, this charge placed at A is positively charged. Due to this charge, capital Q is going to experience a force in the downward direction, repulsive force, and let me name this force as FOA. And if I say the capital charge Q will also experience a force due to this charge placed at B, and this charge Q will be repelling the capital Q in this direction, and for me this is OB. And the force experienced by charge capital Q due to this charge will be along this direction, which will be given as FOC. These are the charges. Now to apply superposition principle, I am going to calculate what is the force FOA, FOB, and FOC. So let me redraw the force diagram here. So this is the force diagram for me. This happens to be FOA, this happens to be FOB, and this is FOC. By applying the properties, we see that the angle between this vector and this vector is 120 degree. Similarly, angle between these two forces is 120 degree, and here also the angle is 120 degree. As such, for me, this is 120 degree. Here the angle between these two forces will be 120 degree, and here the angle is 120 degree. We have studied the property that when we have two vectors of equal magnitude, and if the angle between the two vectors are 120 degree, the resultant of these two vectors will be equal to the magnitude of any one of the vectors, provided the magnitudes of these two vectors are equal. So let us first check whether the magnitude of FOC and FOB are equal or not. So let us calculate the force one by one. So I am trying to calculate what is the magnitude of FOA. So FOA is equal to, we write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, or we also write it as K. So K into the product of the two charges, Q into capital Q. So Q into capital Q divided by the distance square. So distance for me, I want this distance, A to O. So first let me see, I have dropped a perpendicular on this one. Let me name this point as D. To find this distance, I know that AO is 2/3 of AD. Let me calculate here. AO is 2/3 of AD. Now what is AD? What is AD? Let me say that this is an equilateral triangle, and this equilateral triangle has a side of L. In that case, see ADC, when I take ADC, then this will be 30 degree for me, because it is an equilateral triangle. The entire angle is 60 degree. If I divide into 2, then this will be half, this will be 30 degree. So this is 30 degree. If this is L for me, then this side will be, AD will be L cos 30 for me. L cos 30. And if it is L cos 30, then this AD, this will be given as 2/3 of L cos 30, which in turn will be given as 2 by 3 into L into, this will be root 3 by 2, and this gone, so I am left with L by root 3. So AO for me, it is L by root 3. In that case, see FOA, now I calculate the magnitude. This happens to be KQQ divided by distance square, and for me the distance is L by root 3, so L by root 3 whole square. And this works out, root 3 square, 3, it will go to the numerator, so 3 times KQ capital Q divided by L square. If I try to calculate the second force OB, then this will be equal to FOB. This is the force FOB. So this distance, see by symmetry, if this is L by root 3, then this distance is also L by root 3. So as such, see K into the product of the two charges. So this is Q and capital Q I have. So this is Q into capital Q divided by distance square. So this, I find that again the magnitude is equal. As such, if I try to find the magnitude of the force exerted on charge capital Q by the charge placed at point C or vertex C, this will also be KQQ by L by root 3 whole square, and this comes out to be 3KQQ by L square. So I see that the magnitude of all the forces are equal. Now I said we know the property that when two vectors of equal magnitude subtends an angle 120 degree. So two vectors of same magnitude FOC, FOB, if they subtend an angle of 120 degree, then the resultant vector will be equal to, I am talking about the magnitude of this will be equal to FOC, or this will be equal to say FOB, because both are of equal magnitude. So this will be the resultant vector. So if this is the resultant vector, next I see that I am left with, see, I found the resultant of FOC and FOB. This is the vector, and third vector is this one. So if I draw finally the vector, this will be like this, and this happens to be FOA, and this vector is this one. See, magnitude of FOC, this. But see, let me suppose that this direction is x-axis for me and this is y-axis. In that case, I can write this one as FOC is the magnitude into unit vector j, which will point along y-axis. If I see this one, then I can write this one as minus j also. I want to find what is the resultant of these two vectors. We know, see, FOA magnitude and this magnitude of any of the two vectors are equal. It means that magnitude of this vector in the upward direction, magnitude of this vector in the downward direction, both are equal, or F net, when I try to find, I am going to get these two magnitudes are equal. So therefore I write any one of the magnitude into these two vectors, I get j minus j, and this works out to be 0. So net force experienced by the charge capital Q placed at the centroid of an equilateral triangle is 0. Let us move on to next problem. This problem is also based on superposition principle, and by inspection itself you can tell the answer to this problem. The problem is, I have a square of side A, and each of the vertex or each of the vertices has a charge Q equal in magnitude and of same sign. Another charge small q of same sign and equal magnitude is placed at a point where the two diagonals are intersecting. Let me explain you on the diagram. So I have a square of side A, and the square is A, B, C, D, and I said at this point there is a charge, this is Q, at this vertex there is a charge Q, and here a charge Q, and at this vertex a charge Q. These are the diagonals, two diagonals. Now this is the point of intersection. At this point of intersection I am going to place the charge small q. Question is, what is the net force experienced by the charge placed at this point, say point O, due to the charges Q, Q, Q and Q? On inspection, I hope you understand now what will happen if this charge is positive and this is also positive, this will be repelling this charge this way. This charge in turn will repel this way, and you see that the charge magnitudes are equal and the distance between the two charges here and here both are equal. So naturally the magnitudes of the force exerted by this charge on this one and this charge on this one are equal and opposite in direction, equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, and therefore they are going to cancel out. Similarly, this charge q will repel this charge q in this direction, and this charge q will be repelling this charge in this direction. Since see the distance between this charge and this charge and this charge and this charge both are equal, so therefore the magnitudes will be equal and the direction of the forces experienced at this point due to these two charges will be opposite in direction and they will be cancelling, and therefore the net force will be 0. Okay. So here a force 1 and here this force. If I say this will be the force experienced by charge placed at O due to B, and here this will be the force experienced by the charge placed at O due to D, and we are going to see that FOB is equal to FOD. Rather, I must say that this is equal to minus FOD. Why is it so? It is because magnitudes are equal, the direction is opposite, and therefore they are going to cancel out one another. Similarly, this charge is going to exert a force on charge Q at O in this direction, which will be given as FOC, and here this charge will repel this one in this direction and will be given as FOA, and here by inspection itself we know that FOA is equal to minus of FOC, and these two forces will cancel out, and therefore we are going to see the net force experienced by this charge Q will be equal to the vector sum of all these forces, and this is going to be FOB minus FOD plus FOA minus FOC. Since the magnitudes of FOB, FOD are equal, so therefore these two cancel out, and magnitudes of these two are equal and opposite in direction, therefore these two cancel out. The net force experienced is 0. Let us slightly change the problem. Problem is same, but instead of having a positive charge at D, I am going to have a charge of same magnitude, but this time I am going to have a negative charge. So what will happen? What will be the net force? If I look at the figure, then let us name it as A, B, C and D. We have a charge minus Q here, here it is Q, here Q and here Q. We place a charge Q. We want to calculate what is the net force experienced by the charge Q placed at O. When we look at the charges, this Q placed at A and C and the charge placed at O, this case is similar to this one. We mean that the charge Q placed at A will repel this one in this direction, which is FOA, and here charge placed at C is going to repel the charge placed at O, so this will be FOC. And due to symmetry we see that because the distance here and here they are equal, and therefore these two forces are going to cancel out. But when we look at the force experienced by the charge Q, this Q placed at O, due to these two charges, we see that this charge is going to repel this one. So this is going to be FOB. Because of this negative charge, I hope you understand, this negative charge will attract this charge Q, and therefore the second force is also in this direction, which is FOD. Using vectors, we understand that when two forces are acting in the same direction, therefore the net force will be sum of these two vectors. So this time the net force experienced by this charge Q placed at O is not going to be 0. So we need to calculate what is the total force. Now we understand that FOA is equal to minus FOC. These two will cancel out one another. However, the net force at O is equal to sum of these two vectors. This will be FOB plus FOD. So I want to calculate now what is FOB and what is FOD. This will be when I try to calculate what is the magnitude. So FOB is equal to OB. This OB will be equal to, this is A, and I hope you understand that this entire length will be root 2A. If this entire length is root 2A, then BO will be half of root 2A. So half of root 2A will be equal to A by root 2. This will be the distance between B and O, or say OB. So here, now the force FOB will be equal to K into the product of the two charges Q and Q. So this is Q square divided by distance square when you say A by root 2 whole square, which comes out to be 2K Q square by A square. Okay, we mean that this side of this square is A. Similarly, when I try to find what is FOD magnitude, we'll have this is equal to, now this distance, if this is A by root 2, then this is also A by root 2. In that case, I have K into product of the two charges. I'm not going to consider the sign, I'm going to consider only the magnitude, so I least bother about the sign of the charge. So this is K Q square divided by same A root 2 whole square, which comes out to be 2 times K Q square by A square. Now I have to find the sum of these two. So the net force when I see experienced by the charge small q placed at O, this will be equal to sum of these two, 2 plus 2, 4. So I have 4 K Q square by A square. Now this is magnitude, I want direction. So direction I can write along OD. So this is along OD, and this is the answer for this question. Let's move on to another problem. I hope you can do yourself. I have a square of side A. Each of the vertices has a charge Q. And question is, say what is the net force experienced by this charge placed at the vertex. Say it is D, it is C, it is B, it is A. So I want to find what is the net force. To calculate the net force, see, now let me say this is the diagonal. To calculate what is the net force experienced, first I see what is the force exerted by this charge placed at A on the charge D. So will this be this one in this direction, because this charge is going to repel this one here. So this will be FAD. Next, the second force that acts on this charge is this one. This will exert force on this one along the line joining the two charges, and therefore this will be the force. So force experienced by the charge, I must rewrite this one, placed at D due to A. So force experienced by the charge placed at D due to C. And third force experienced by this charge is due to this one. This is going to repel this one in this direction. So 3 forces are acting, and this force is FDB. Now we are actually talking about superposition principle. So this force is, this charge Q is experiencing 3 different forces, and therefore we need to calculate what is the vector sum. To calculate the vector sum, we see that we have FDC force here, and FDA here, and FDB in this direction. As such, this distance is root 2 times A. The charge Q at D experienced 3 different forces, and we need to calculate the resultant of the 3. To calculate the resultant of the 3, I want to check what is the magnitude of FDC, FDB, and FDA. So first, if I say magnitude of FDA, this will be equal to magnitude. When I talk, distance is A, charge is Q and Q, so this will be, I hope you understand, K Q into Q, that is Q square divided by distance square. When I talk about this force FDB, this is going to be K into product of the 2 charges, Q into Q is Q square, divided by distance square is root 2 A whole square, which in turn will be KQ square 2A square. Third, I want to find what is FDC magnitude. So FDC is equal to, this will be equal to K into the product of the 2 charges, this will be Q square by distance square is A square. FDA and FDC being equal vectors, and they are perpendicular to one another, then the resultant of FDC and FDA will be root 2 times the magnitude of either FDC or FDA, because magnitudes are equal, and the direction will be along BD, which in turn can be given as root 2 into FDC magnitude is KQ square by A square. As such, we are in a position now to calculate the net force experienced by Q. So net force is this is equal to FDB, this is KQ square by 2A square, plus the resultant of these 2 forces, we calculated this one, so this will be root 2 KQ square by A square. If I find the sum, the F net will be equal to, see, take out the common, KQ square by A square. So we are going to have it as root 2 plus 1 by 2. This is magnitude. We need to talk about the direction. So when we talk about the direction here, and we are going to write along, the net force is acting along BD, so along BD, and this is going to be along BD when I write, and here I will put, so this is the resultant force experienced by the charge Q placed at the vertex. Let us move on to the next problem. Let us suppose that we have charges of equal magnitude 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean that at this point 1 coulomb charge, here it is 2 coulomb charge, 3, 4, like this. These are the point charges placed at these points. This circle is of the radius say 1 meter for simplicity. And at center we have placed one more charge of 1 coulomb. Now the problem is we want to calculate what is the net force experienced by a charge of 1 coulomb placed at the center of the circle 1 meter, and at the different points shown we have placed charges of 1 coulomb, 2 coulomb, 3 coulomb this way. So how to proceed? If I see this problem, if I visualize, I see that the charge 1 coulomb placed at this point, this is going to repel this charge along this direction, and this 7 coulomb is going to repel this charge in this direction. So this 1 coulomb is going to repel this one here, and if I see what is the amount of force, this will be K into 1 coulomb into 1 coulomb is 1 square divided by distance is 1 meter, so this is 1 square. This will be the force, and this charge will exert a force of here given as K into product of this charge and this charge. 7 into 1 is 7 divided by distance is again 1 square. So see, 7K times the force is acting in this direction, 1K force is acting in this direction. So the net force will be 6K times in this direction, 6K times. So I say that along one 6K force is acting, 6K. Let me inspect this charge and this charge. See, 2 coulomb force, 2 coulomb charge will repel this one in this direction, and 8 will repel in this direction. Now this 2 coulomb charge will be repelling with a force of K into product of the two charges 2 divided by distance is 1 square. This 8 coulomb charge will repel this one in this direction, so this is going to be K into 8 into 1 is 8 divided by 1 square. So if I see 8K force is acting in this direction and 2K force is acting in this direction, so they are acting in the opposite direction, difference of the two will be 6K. So 6K along 2. So this is 6K, this is 6K. Along 3, again see, you are going to get 6K. With 3 coulomb charge 3K, this will be 9K, so this is 6K. Along 4th, it will be 6K. Along 5th, it will be 6K. And along 6th, it will be 6K. These will be the forces experienced by the charges 1 coulomb. Now we need to calculate what is the net force experienced by the charge 1 coulomb placed at the center. To find this, see please, this 6K acting along this 6 coulomb and this 6K that acts along 3 coulomb is like this. And this one, this and this, let us try to work out. Do you think that this 6K which is acting along 2 coulomb, this makes an angle of 30 degree? This 6K, as you know, this angle will be 60 degree, and the 6K that is acting along 4, that has an angle of 30 degree once again, and the other 6K which is acting along 5K, that makes an angle of 60 degree. So all these forces, 6K, 6K, 6K and 6K. Now I am going to resolve this force into two components. So 6K cos 30 will be along this direction. So I am going to write 6K cos 30. And the other component 6K sine 30 will act in this direction, resolving this vector into two components. Similarly, I am going to resolve this vector into two components. So this will be 6k cos 60. So 6k cos 60. Vertical component of this one will be 6k sine 60. These two vectors over. Now I am going to resolve these two vectors. So 6k cos 30 will be along this direction. So 6k cos 30 and 6k sine 30 will act along this direction. So 6k sine 30. And when I resolve this vector into two components, so 6k cos 60 is going to act along this direction, cos 60, and the sine component will act along this direction, so it will be 6k sine 60. Now 6k sine 30 equal in magnitude and acting in the opposite direction will be cancelling out. Similarly, 6k sine 60 and 6k sine 60 will be cancelling out. As such, here 6k is left, and along this direction you have 6k cos 30, 6k cos 60, 6k cos 30 and 6k cos. So therefore, to resolve or to solve it further, I find that here it is 6k and this is acting in the downward direction, this force. So I am going to write it as 6k minus j. And here this is 6k cos 30 and 6k cos 30, that is given as 6k plus 2 times 6k cos 30 is root 3 by 2. This and this goes off, plus 6k cos 60, 6k cos 60. So 2 times 6k cos 60. So 2 times 6k cos 60 is 1 by 2. And this. Otherwise, we have this is equal to 6k, 6 root 3k, 6k plus 6 root 3k plus 6k, which in turn I have 6 and 6 12. So I take 6 common, k common, I get 2 plus root 3. And this is acting along x-axis, I am going to write I cap. So the net force that 1 coulomb charge placed at the center will experience is equal to 6k 2 plus root 3 I cap, and along y-axis it is 6k. So plus 6k minus j, otherwise I have the net force is equal to 6k 2 plus root 3 times of I cap minus 6k, k is not required, so it is j cap. So this is the net force experienced by the charge 1 coulomb placed at this point. So thank you. Let us see in the next session.